Hey, welcome to Music on Twitch. We are here with our first match with Legacy Death and Taxes, which should be pretty fun. This deck's always fun to play with, playing against Sorbo 1, and this hand's pretty sweet. It doesn't really get much better. A turn 1 planes into Aether Vial. We also have Swords to Plowshares. The Karakas is really nice against the Depths decks, or something like Reanimator, or Sneak and Show, and then Tomik and Prelate are both nice, not only as threats, but also ways to disrupt your opponent. The flying's really nice on Tomik, and then Prelate against some decks can just be lights out. So really happy to keep this deck. Has kind of an angle for all decks, which is really nice. I don't think there's really a nicer hand to start on. I'm actually going to snip this and put it up. Delver, okay. This is actually a great hand against Delver. And because we have the Tomik here, I'm pretty happy to just lead on probably the planes here. Our opponent to keep the whole 9 yards, being the 7. So this is an interesting one. I feel like I could play a little bit slower if I wanted to, and just swords here. I could also play the Vial. I think a turn 1 Vial is just so good, even if our opponent is on the play and might have a Daze or Force of Will. Them dazing, of course, put them back a little bit. And then we still have the Swords to Plowshares to hit their threat. So I don't mind leading on the Vial here just to see if we can bait out a counter spell. But of course, that's not going to happen, which is quite nice. This is also really nice because even though they have Force in hand, we get to keep this Swords in hand for a little while and play around Daze. We still don't know if this is Rug or just blue-red. Probably a little bit more scared to see something like Rug. Or, of course, Grixis. I mean, Thoughtseize is a card that can really take over this game. I'm going to activate this. There's no reason not to. I'll trigger the Vial. Maybe even trigger my opponent at the same time. Planes, okay. So this is interesting. Do I want a Wasteland? Do I want a Swords to Plowshares? If I Swords here, I definitely open myself up to Spell Pierce, but I do cause them to fetch. If I really wanted to like next play them, I could Wasteland the Scalding Tarn, and then Swords in response to the fetch, but I don't think that's a great plan. I'm pretty happy here. I was going to say play the planes, but I think my opponent's going to win this game with a Trinium Nemesis, and to keep them off that for as long as I can is pretty good. So I'm just going to go Wasteland here, and probably just pass turn. And then if they want to respond, they can do it in their upkeep. And they're going to force this pitching Force. Okay, so that's going to be fine. I'm going to let this all resolve, and then I'm going to Wasteland. I let it all resolve just in case my opponent had a Daze. They could then Daze like their own Force, returning the Volk, and then just pay for it. Ren, okay. Luckily we have a pretty good hand against Ren decks. Our opponent is tapped out, so there's no real reason to use the Aether Vial here, but at the same time, there's no reason not to. Especially in Paper Magic, you might as well activate the Vial as much as you can, just to give off the impression that whenever you do activate it and you do have something, you might not have something. So Wasteland's still not that great here. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. I could push out 2 creatures this turn, but I'm pretty happy to actually just play a land, and just pass back. So this is an interesting one. We have the option of Charming Prince or Tomik. I kind of like keeping the Tomik in hand for now. just because of the Karakas in hand, we're able to actually protect it from something like a bolt if they want to bolt it. Fetch there usually means true name. It's going to be a Hooting Mandrills. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. That's going to be pretty rough to beat as well. So I think what I want to do here is actually Charming Prince and Scry to make sure that we're drawing into gas. So what do we want here? I think we want to bottom both of these, especially because of the... It's actually an interesting one. The Plains is definitely going to the bottom, but the Giver still isn't great. I think we want something like Recruiter or Stoneforge. I'm going to put that on bottom as well. Now we get to untap. I'm going to keep this at... I could go to 3 and turn off Lightning Bolt, and because I've already cast Hooting Mandrills, I don't think Magmatic Sinkhole is something that they're going to really... They actually do have access to Magmatic Sinkhole because we know they have a Scalding Tarn in hand, which is 4 mana, and then the Scalding Tarn itself is 5 with the Delve. So I'm actually going to tick this up. And I'm going to cast Prelate for 1. There's the Recruiter. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted to scry into, which is pretty interesting. So let's activate this first. Bolt in response to me. Okay. Very aggressive. So we'll cast Prelate. Go for 1. Play Karakas. Play Tomik. And now just pass turn. I guess Ren also deals with the Tomik, but we can Karakas in response. So here I'm happy to trade the Insectile Aberration and go to 4. Fetching. Interesting. We can recruit it for Palace Jailer, which is nice. I just hope they don't have True Name Nemesis. Another Mandrills. Okay. 1 card in hand. I think we want to tick this up to 4. Just to play around days. Because our opponent hit us there. Show game log. Deal 1 damage to us. Okay. So yeah, I think here... Because that Scalding Tarn is now in Exile. Okay. So I think we do want to tick this up to 4. This way we can play a land. Oh, we draw the Palace Jailer. Classic. So we can actually kill the Ren here, which is pretty huge. So we can activate Vial. So what I like doing here is Palace Jailer, take Hooting Mandrills, attack for 4 at Ren, and then next turn block the Hooting Mandrills with Charming Prince and Palace Jailer. Keeping around the Sanctum Prelate because for 1 is really good. And then we also have the Recruiter. Looks like we're waiting for our opponent. Close this. Love a bit of jazz. Always a fan. Always a fan. They haven't said anything either. I'm gonna quickly test my internet, make sure it isn't me. Surely not. No, definitely not. This game's been pretty great though. A lot of interaction. We had a great hand for Delver. I'm going to assume that my opponent did DC, or something's happened here with their internet connection, because there's not that much to think about with the activation of a vial. Palace Jailer is such a strong card. It's really added a really nice element to Death and Taxes. You don't usually get card advantage outside of sort of Recruiter of the Guard, which was also printed in Conspiracy, I believe? Or was it Conspiracy? I believe it was. And then I guess Stoneforge Mystic. But, you know, we don't have something like Maverick has Sylvan Library. You know, cards like Ramming Up Excavator, Tireless Tracker. Being on 3 is always very, very tough, but the Prelate on 1 here is going to really work well for us, which is nice. I think the Recruiter gets the other Charming Prince, because if our opponent untaps and gets something like Trinim Nemesis, then it is a one-hit swing. I guess we could go for Flickerwisp anyway, because we can flicker our own Charming Prince, but we'll have to think about it. Ah, so this is interesting, actually. I can only attack the Wren for 2. Because I need to keep some creatures back for the Hooting Mandrills. So I'm going to attack with the Prelate. Because I'm definitely not blocking with it. And then let's go for Recruiter. And here I believe we just go and get... It's always tough. I don't mind Charming Prince just because it's a little bit smaller. We also get to draw here. Swords to Plowshares, okay. So that was something in the back of my mind, that with Swords to Plowshares, if you draw it, you can't cast it with a Prelate. But I'm still pretty happy with that position right now. So they go into combat. We're at 3, so we have to block with 4 power. So we'll block with the Palace Jailer and we'll block with the Charming Prince. So a 5th land for our opponent. Ren takes out the Recruiter, and now we get a pass back. So this is a definite always no. We draw into Revoker, which is actually quite nice. And I don't believe there's really anything else we want to name with Revoker anyway. So let's go for Charming Prince first. If they have a Force of Will, they can force it. Okay, so out of cards, that's fine. Now we get to play this Revoker. Name Ren. I guess Oko is a card as well, but I think it's Ren that we're really scared of. I'm going to name Ren. And then, just in case they have some sort of extra removal, I am going to kill this Ren. So something like Magnetic Sinkhole, hit the Revoker, and then still start dealing damage to us. That would kind of suck. Okay, Delver's scary because of this Sanctum Prelate. Another Thalia, not what we really want. We'll definitely play a Thalia. And I guess... see what we draw. Karakas, okay. No flip one time, no flip, no flip. No flip, okay. Could be good for us, could be bad for us. Tarmogoyf's pretty good, not gonna lie. Alright. It's always a no. Planes. That's pretty rough. I wonder if we just attack with this Prelate now. Because it gives us swords as an out, and we can also block with this Tarmogoyf for Thalia and just return it at any time, so... I think I'm pretty happy to just attack with the Prelate. They're gonna block, okay. That's not too bad. So now we get to deal with this Delver. Interesting. I wonder if there's a world there where you don't actually block. Do I want a Wasteland? I think I do, just to see if I can take them off double red. Just in case they like brainstorm with a Volk and then draw into Lightning Bolt. Block here. We can deal first strike, and then we can return. Alright. Revoker. Spell Snare is going to be fine. Let's go with another Thalia. Can I attack here? Is there any reason why I can't attack? Maybe Dismember? Dismember or Magmatic Sinkhole? Tomik's nice as well. Block. Return. Nothing. Flickerwisp, okay. Interesting. Thalia first. Land. Keep this one. attack. Whew. I think now just Revoker naming Oko and then pass tap down Volk. We'll try to keep him off red. Pretty happy just to block with... We have one Thalia in the bin. Does it matter? Yeah, I think we just want to block with a Revoker here. Nothing from our opponent. Okay. This Vial does nothing. Stoneforge. Oof. Days. Returning the red source. I think we have to pay for this. I kind of want Jitte here, I think, because I want the life gain. Then pretty happy to attack with both of these. And now I think I just want to cast Tomik. Holding back Flickerwisp. It plays around Days, and we know they have one land in hand. So just in case they have a Days, I want to play this Tomik. Okay. Oof. Oof. Please don't draw into Bolt. Misty. Ooh, okay. I don't think they can attack here. Yeah, wow. So is this just it because we have the Flickerwisp? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we gotta try it. I think the so we can either win it now or we can attack with Jitte in the air, which I think is fine. We can also attack with sort of Fire and Ice. Unless they have Days. This is tough. I think we go for Flickerwisp here. Flicker that creature, attack for lethal. Ooh, a fetch. Nothing? Wow, what a game. What a game one. Nice. Sideboarding. Part to Exile. Council's Judgment. Rest in peace. What do we take out? Revokers are okay. I think on the draw we can probably take out one. Especially with the Rest in Pieces in the deck. Palace Jail is iffy. If they have something like Trin and Nemesis, it's not that great. But you never know. Stoneforge is okay. I think Batterskull's a little bit lackluster, but it's really nice to have in the deck just in case. I can probably drop out on Thalia's, especially with Ren in the deck. I kind of like still having one there. I'll drop a Stoneforge. And I think because we're dropping these, I'm pretty happy to drop a Karakas and actually drop a land. And just see how this flies. Alright. A little bit rough. So on the draw, if we draw into a white source, it's actually pretty good. We do have a turn one play, to say the least, but this is an interesting one. I'm actually going to put this one on Twitter and ask what people would do. I'm actually pretty happy to keep it. The upside of drawing into a white source, which is very, very likely, the hand's just so good. Especially if our opponent goes Land Ponder over Land Delver. Okay, Land Delver it is. That's going to be fine. Swords. Interesting. So they have the pressure. They let on fetch, which is interesting, which to me either sounds like they've kept a one lander or they've kept a hand with double fetch land. I think just to slow them down, I'm pretty happy with Wasteland instead of Port here. I think Port Pass just shows us that we're very vulnerable, so Wasteland seems okay. We are not off to the races yet, which is really nice. There's that other fetch land. Perfect, okay. This is interesting. I think I want to just play Giver here. Just to get something on the board. Instead of holding up Swords, which of course isn't that great in the... I assume my opponent took out Spell Pierce, but, you know, Daze and maybe even Force is still a factor. Stifle, okay. Interesting that they kept Stifle in. Not going to get Wasteland the next turn either, which is really nice. Cindervines, okay. So I think here I'm just happy to Swords this Insectile Aberration. We don't really have another answer to it right now. And now just attack for one. Can't do anything in our opponent's turn either, so happy just to 6 here as well. It does give off that we haven't brought in something like Surgical, which I don't think you really necessarily would think about bringing in, but... Wow, Mandrills, okay. That's pretty good. Plains. Probably the best draw that we could have gotten. What do we want to do here? I don't mind casting Prelate for one, just because of the amount of stuff it turns off in their deck, and then maybe Maybe casting this Council's Judgment later down the line around days. Okay. So, I guess for me, I'd much rather my opponent daze my threats than daze my ability to deal with their threats. Because, you know, their Hooting Mandrills and Delvers are going to be winning the game. Not so much the Prelate holding them off casting their Ponders and Brainstorms when they already have something like Hooting Mandrills on the field. Just going to 6. I probably wouldn't 6 if I had a Mother of Runes, of course, because then you can't actually respond to their Lightning Bolts, but we're pretty happy here. Port. Okay, so that's a pretty nice draw, because now we can actually Council's Judgment this Hooting Mandrills. Which I think is what we want to do. We could also Stoneforge. We know they have Stifle. So I think Judgment here is fine. It's really nice just to get away. Get their threat off the board. A small upside of Council's Judgment as well is that it exiles the Hooting Mandrills, so it can't actually be fodder for another Hooting Mandrills for Delve. Our opponent's also missed a few land drops, I believe. So that's quite interesting. I want to see what they did with this Ponder. We're just going to 6, of course. Cast Ponder, chose not to shuffle, okay. Oh, wrong X. Alright, True Name's pretty good. Thalia. What do I want to do here? I think I want to play Thalia. The Jitte's a little bit dead to this other, to the Cindervines. We have to gain life ASAP, but I think Thalia is probably step 1. We also have 7 minutes and they have 12, so gotta bring that into consideration. Days, we'll pay for it. It does take 1 to sack the Cindervines, so we can maybe get into a situation where we can actually tap them down and off it. Plains. Definitely play that. Do we want to crack this now? We can definitely attack first. Maybe even get ourselves into the situation where we can play Stoneforge Mystic here. Maybe get a Stifle out of it. Okay. Batterskull. Happy to cast Recruiter here, even into a Daze. Okay. Gonna get Charming Prince. And pass it back. Wasteland's fine. What can we do here? Wasteland. Definitely play the land first. We'll cast this Charming Prince. Hopefully gain 3 off it. So now we can attack for 4. And then hold up Batterskull and Umezawa's Jitte. Even though they have the Cindervines, they can't hit both. I wonder if they have like a braid as well. That'd be pretty rough. Put in Batterskull. See if they blow up the Cindervines now before we can actually return it. They are, okay. So I think here I'm just going to take out this volcanic island so they kind of braid in our turn. And this is turning the game. Especially with the Stoneforge Mystic, we have enough mana to actually put this in. I'm going to put it on the Thalia. I think the Thalia is the best rep we have. I'm going to gain life here. Oh, I'm just going to gain life in response to the fetch. Hopefully it's not a bolt. I mean, if they have bolt, it's just game, sadly. We saw the Trinam as well, so I think Palace Jail is probably coming out post-board. Wow, we get there. Nice. Haha. That always feels nice. That's a really nice feeling. So, you know, pretty lucky that our opponent didn't have the bolt in game 1 or 2, but I think we put ourselves in a position where they needed to have the bolt or it was just game. So, hope you guys enjoyed that match. My name is Dukes on Twitch. I stream on Wednesdays and Sundays, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Wednesdays around 7:30 p.m. and Sundays around 10 a.m. That is match 1. We'll see you for match 2. Thanks.